after giving birth, instead of peace and joy, I found myself in emotional hell. I was on my feet until the very last day of pregnancy. My husband and I run a family restaurant business, and when emergencies happen, I end up working everywhere, doing all kinds of tasks, even with a big belly. On the 28th, I organized a wedding for 200 guests, and on the 30th, I gave birth. I didn't do it because anyone forced me to. I chose to work until the end for my family, for our shared future. During pregnancy, I developed varicose veins, and it was physically exhausting, especially after having two miscarriages before and trying to get pregnant for 4 years. I'm not looking for pity, it's just painful. I gave everything I could, and in return, I got treatment I never deserved, but somehow allowed. As I mentioned before, the baby's name became a reason for conflict. My husband, in a burst of emotion, shouted that we would change it. And eventually, that's what happened. On Sunday, he told me we'd choose the name together. But that evening, I, unfortunately, saw his chat with his mother. I know it was wrong, but I just felt something was off. In their conversation, she played the victim again, saying she was hurt. And he replied, "When we go for the documents, I'll put the name you chose. She has no choice." Referring to me in the third person, the daughter-in-law, as if I didn't even exist. On Monday, we didn't talk at all. We got into the car and I reminded him that we still hadn't decided on a name. Calmly, he said, "I'll put the one my mother chose." I replied that I wouldn't get out of the car and wouldn't change anything. Then, with a manic look in his eyes, he said he'd go home and beat me. He had never raised his hand before, but in that moment, I realized this was no longer just an argument. It was dangerous. When he got out of the car, I took my daughter, only 5 days old, and walked away crying, not knowing where to go. I called my mother and told her I was coming to her, that I didn't want this family anymore. My mom immediately called my husband and his father, scolding them both, saying there was no order in their home and that their constant family drama drove me, a new mother, to a nervous breakdown. And now I don't want to see my husband or his relatives ever again. What should I do now?